I was just pulling the red car out of the garage, and one way to turn it around is to just lifted it up, ease it out. You can see my blue NGA coupe in the background. The coupe and the Berkeley fit in this garage. This is a car I call the red car, and at this point in time it had the exhaust system that was given to me as part of my deal. And we're rolling it onto a trailer, and the trailer is attached to the back of a 60 Chevy. The trailer was a homemade thing I picked up and then put some aluminum ramps on. And here we're attaching it. You can see the ramps. We might have been shooting this in slow motion, or I'm just projecting it in slow motion. That was me. Trying to remember who my assistant was in this video. I think it's my friend Steve. We're coming out of the driveway. It looks like the trailer is pushing down in the back of the Chevy. We're off and rolling. Now this is Steve's wife. This was just chewing up some footage, and there's his car. I think Steve took this while he was waiting for me to get my act together. This was at Soldiers Field in Chicago, and that was one of the sites for any gymkhana in the 60s and 70s. Right on Chicago's lakefront. I'm trying to remember who was running the camera at this point. Two other interesting cars, a bug-eyed Sprite, an old Volvo. That little car that was listed in the background was a Renault 4CV that was a very, very competitive car, unlike my car. And here I'm donning my lab coat. I probably had to do some work, like crawl underneath or something like that. And, being a chemist, lab coats are something we always had around. No doubt we're experiencing some malfunction here. This particular car is right-hand drive, and it had been raced, and quite a bit of the fiberglass around the wheels had been removed. Well, I seem to have gotten it rolling. Must be under its own power, even though I don't see the familiar clouds of smoke that usually accompanied this car. I think we must have had something loose or something like that. We were trying to see. That's why someone's hanging over the side, trying to figure out what it is that was causing the problem. Notice the position of the rear wheels, that's what it says here. There we go, I'm off in my usual cloud of smoke. And what we should be seeing here is the I think it's the outside, no, the inside rear wheel doesn't need to be on the ground. I guess it goes back to its three-wheeler heritage. So somehow I did manage to get it going, and it went around a few turns. And it goes off the ground again. I never had the feeling that that the wheels were leaving the ground when I was driving it. Well, it seems like it made it through the, oh, that's my mom. Maybe she was the one who was filming. Oh, it looks like one of the exhaust hoses came loose. This must be another run. We probably attached the loose pipe. I think that's the old McCormick place in the background. That looks like the one that burned down not too long after it was built. Since been replaced. Looks like I was able to make 3 runs. The exhaust system that was used in this version of the car was original expansion chamber hung off the front side, and I don't know what my logic was. I suppose I probably didn't want to breathe the smoke. Didn't exactly start in a straight line there, as you may have noticed. Here now we're looking at its problems. I remember one of these things we threw the clutch goes. That's it for the day. That's what the sign says. And here we are putting it back on the trailer. You can see in this how much the wheel wells were cut away. And we bid a fond farewell to the soldier's field. It says, where am I? I actually beat somebody, an MG who, anyway, here's a go-kart track in Elgin. This was probably our second outing. It looks like I'm wearing a helmet. Must have been a much more sophisticated event. The car did have a roll bar in it. It wasn't a very substantial roll bar, as I recall. That lovely cloud of smoke. I think I used to put in a castor oil product that had that wonderful burning oil, castor oil smell to it. And again, I probably was going a little faster than the picture looks, although not at a breakneck speed. Just as though it seems that the speed that we're running this at makes it look kind of slow. It allows me to do a better job of narrating and some of the competitions. This was like a Mustang, probably a 64, 65. A little Porsche. Here I am finishing third out of 3. 2 sprites beat me. And let's see. Let's figure out where we are now. This might be back at Soldiers Field, another event. Yes, definitely Soldiers Field parking lot. That breathtaking acceleration. Looks like the back end actually went down. One thing I do recall in driving it, it was quite a challenge to get it off the line, in that it required quite a lot of revs to move it. Must have been running better this day. I don't see the smoke. Looks like I beat 2 other guys in this one. Wow. Came in 4th. If you're waiting to see me at the top of the list, forget it. Doesn't happen. I guess that's it. Oops, wait a minute. Here's some more. This was a movie of another guy that had a car. I think his name was something like Han Jernstrom or something like Jernstrom. And he had a much nicer car than mine. And we went to look at it. I think he gave me a ride in it or drove it around a little bit. There's my MG. Now this one shows my new and improved exhaust system. These were expansion chambers that I calculated the dimensions on based on some information that I got from a guy who raced go-karts. He was a really high-tech guy named Bystrom, and he was way ahead of the local folks in go-kart technology in that time frame. Made kind of a strange popping noise, and you may recognize the familiar look of the expansion chamber, but the way I calculated things out, it needed that long center section. So we're just coming from the flex hose into the expansion chambers that I made. Basically, they were the sheet metal. I think this is the one that I lost the drivetrain came off the differential. I can't say that this really improved the performance an awful lot, but it sure made the thing look cooler, and it was definitely something entirely different. That's Mom. You can see the roll bar, and it wasn't really too much of a roll bar. My friend Donald and his wife at that point in time. Another old crony named David. And Stevie, who's my principal helper. David's car was an Opel. That's that little car in the background. This Renault was a very competitive car, and he always won on the shorter tracks. I don't think this car is the same car. The green car was the one that was the very competitive one.